How's it going, guys? Crazy Boy here, and welcome to the first ever Q&A on the channel. Very happy to be recording this video. Very happy. I'm glad I got enough questions for the Q&A that I can finally do it. So, we're going to start out with some game-related questions. Since I do Dead by Daylight on the channel mainly, might as well start out with some Dead by Daylight questions. Do you think survivors should get a buff? It's very interesting because I feel like where we're at now, I feel like survivors are in a pretty good position, not going to lie. Because survivors, when working together, can destroy a killer. Gens can get done very, very quickly. And if a survivor knows how to loop a killer, and they know how to run, you can get done like 2 to 3 gens while someone's in a chase. That's with Ruin up. Breaking the Ruin included. So that's actually pretty good. The only thing that I will say is I feel like I wish survivors, the new ones coming out, I wish they would get better perks. Right now, we're kind of getting mediocre perks, or shit perks. And it seems like whenever we do get a good perk, a lot of the time it's really way too overpowered, and then they just nerf it into the ground later, which I don't like. And I don't like the fact that I feel like I have to run certain perks to avoid the killer or to get away from the killer. Because that's boring. But apart from that, I feel like survivors are doing pretty good. And I feel like the killer should have the upper hand to an extent. He should be faster. He should be more powerful. He should be able to fuck your entire team if you are not working as a team. Because essentially the whole point of the 4v1 asymmetrical horror game is the 1 is supposed to be more powerful than the 4, and the 4 is supposed to work together, that way they can beat the 1 that is more powerful. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of people don't really grasp that concept of the game. But that is indeed what this game is supposed to be. So I feel like survivors are in a pretty good spot right now. And I think the devs feel the same way because they've talked about making the killers to the point where they can balance them. And they want to bring solo up to SWF, I think is what they said. That way they can work more balancing around the killers around SWF. Because they can't balance around SWF right now because it would fuck up all the people playing solo who are already underpowered. So I think the devs do agree that for the most part, except for the gap kind of between Survive with Friends and solo, survivors are pretty good where they're at. Do you think Node should get a nerf? Is another interesting concept, another interesting controversial topic. I feel like Node is one of those topics where it's widely talked about. And I see a thread on the forum about it, like, at least once a week. That's how bad it is. Because it's two sides of it. There's not really an in-between. It's either people are saying Node should not be changed, it's fine where it's at, and you have people saying Node is terrible, take it out of the game, or rework it entirely. I fall on the side of Node is fine where it's at. The reason being is because Node has counters. You might not like to hear that, but it's got counters. I think Node is fine. Now, could Node have done without the buff to where all tiers give you the exposed, and tier 1 and 2 just gave you the movement speed and the hit recovery? Yes. But I feel like by changing that, they did make it a more viable perk. It makes it to where you see it a bit more now, and it makes it a bit more useful, which is not really a good thing if you're a survivor, but the perk, no perk you should feel like you have to have it tier 3 in order to use it. So I think Node, for the most part, besides that, it's got a counterplay to it. You can cleanse the totems, and that kind of prevents against the Gen Rush meta because it gives you a secondary objective. And with the blood point up for totems, there's really no reason why you shouldn't be cleansing totems unless someone is getting camped or they're getting hard tunneled off the hook. That is the only scenario where I'd say it's probably acceptable for you to not do totems. And then even after that, it's pretty easy to escape the killer with Node. Once again, there's still pallets left. And worst comes to worst, they'll end up getting one extra kill because of Node, and they won't get any more. A lot of the times, killers succeed with Node because survivors make a mistake that causes there to be another kill involved in that game. So, that's kind of how I feel about Node. I feel like we should keep it where it's at. And another thing with Node is it's used more of a starter perk. A lot of people will move upwards from it in the rank as they start to rank up and it stops working, or they get better as killer and they feel like they want a better perk in its spot. So you won't see it as much. That's why you don't see it as much at the higher rank. Unless it's on certain killers that are really bad. Moving on to the next question. Actually, give me 1 minute because it's hot in here. I gotta turn on my fucking AC. Okay. Now that my AC is on, I don't feel like I'm being cooked alive. Next question. Let's see, we're still going to focus on some Dead by Daylight type stuff. Will you ever stop playing Dead by Daylight on the channel? This is more Dead by Daylight and YouTube, but I'm going to answer it anyway. So, Dead by Daylight is, I don't know, it's a game that I both enjoy and hate at the same time. I love the game at its core. I love the concept. What I don't like is all the dickheads in the community. That is what makes this game unplayable for the most part for me, is the community. That's why a lot of people don't like it. But, apart from that, I think it is a pretty good game. Do I think I will ever stop playing Dead by Daylight? Not by choice, probably not. I think I like the game overall too much to actually stop playing it by choice. Uploads might slow down if I branch out, because eventually I would like to branch out to other games. But unfortunately, like most channels, since I brought my community up through Dead by Daylight, a lot of other videos don't get as many views as Dead by Daylight does. And that's why it's hard for me to branch out to other type of content, other types of games, because Dead by Daylight was the original game that got my channel started, really, for the most part. So that's why it's kind of hard to move out. But otherwise, I would like to branch out eventually and kind of slow down with Dead by Daylight. I don't think I'll ever stop playing it by choice. If I do stop playing it on the channel, it's because the game died and there's going to be no community left. And at that point, I'm going to be forced to find another game. But I don't want to be like all the other content creators, like 72 Hours, you know, and some of those who dropped it completely and moved on to other games. And just left kind of their entire dead community in the dust. And I don't think that's right. So I would never do that. What's your favorite survivor, killer, and Mori? Favorite survivor, for obvious reasons. I'm going to go a bit more in depth with this question. Favorite survivor to play overall is obviously Ace. I always say it is. He was the first character that I prestiged, and I love it. I don't like his perks that much. I think his perks suck ass, don't get me wrong. But I love Ace specifically because he was the first person that I ever hit P3 with on Survivor. So, with that being said, I also got most of the perks tier 3 on him first as well, hence why I like him so much. Because he's got everything. He's got all my shit, all my items, all my offerings, you know, everything. So that's why I love Ace. Now, when I said I was going a bit more in depth, the best looking prestige on Survivor. It's a hard choice. I haven't seen really all the prestiges, but I think I might have to go with Ace again, because Ace, I feel like his blood is more visible and he's more drenched and covered than all the other survivors, especially in his face. you can see it a lot more clear. That's why I like him so much. Favorite killer? This is actually quite difficult because I have a couple different killers that I play on a daily. I play, well, not on a daily, but I play decently well. I play Billy, I play Huntress. I try and get a bit of Myers in there, but I don't like playing him because he's a no-skill killer. Maybe a bit of Clown every now and again. Maybe Trapper here and there. You know, maybe Ghostface, depending on how I'm feeling. But I think my favorite killer is Billy, once again, just because I P3'd him. And because I like his mobility. I like the amount of mobility he's got with his power. Not just the fact that you can one-hit down, but being able to get across the map from point A to point B in like 5 seconds is very handy. Especially when you're trying to watch the doors of the endgame collapse. Helps out a lot. As far as best-looking killers for Prestige gear, I think I'm caught up between Nurse and Huntress. Nurse looks amazing with her Prestige gear, and I think it might have something to do with the fact that she's got on white clothes, so it's way more visible on her. And Huntress, I especially like the headgear. I like how in the little, I forget what it's called, the thing on the back of her, flowing from the back of her mask, the silk thing. I like the way the blood looks on that as well. And her axe looks really cool as well when it's Prestige. Favorite Mori? That's tough. I think Legion might be my favorite Mori, although it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of hard for me to tell because I think a lot of them have cool Moris, but I also think a lot of them could be a lot better. Huntress is pretty decent. Not gonna lie, I think Leatherface is okay. Myers, I do like just because it's the iconic kill. But Legion, I like the most, I think, because it's brutal. He's yanking them back as they try and fight for their life and just fucking gutting them, and I love that. I like watching him fucking slaughter them as they struggle. So that's probably my favorite Mori. But close second, I think, would definitely probably be like Huntress or something. I don't know. It's a hard question. There's one more about Dead by Daylight, but I should probably answer this one first. Have you seen Stranger Things? Nope. Never seen Stranger Things. Don't intend to either. A lot of people ask why. Well, one reason is because my Netflix account ran out months ago, and I don't feel like restoring it for one show. Other reason is because I don't like Stranger Things. I think it's stupid. That's just my opinion. Which I guess you can guess what the next question is. What do you think about Stranger Things coming to Dead by Daylight? Well, I think it's stupid. Stranger Things does not belong in a game, in my opinion. Dead by Daylight, I feel like it doesn't fit the atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, the Demogorgon, I've seen him, does look like he's got potential to be absolutely fucking terrifying. But I know the devs, his power is going to be dog shit. Because I know the devs all too well. They're getting everybody ready. They use Stranger Things as a money gimmick. That's it. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. It's a money gimmick. They knew it would bring in more people to the community. Which is good in a sense. It means we got a lot more people coming into the community. Real question is, though, how many of those will stay when they see how toxic the community is? Just saying. But overall, I don't like Stranger Things coming to Dead by Daylight. I might buy it if I decide that the killer's power is good, or if I decide Survivor perks are something I want. But besides that, no, ew, burn it, please, get it away from me. Real shit. Alright, let's move on to some other questions. What about my YouTube? Do you think you'll ever hit 1K subs on YouTube? 1K is a lot. A lot of people who have 1K on YouTube or had that big amount either were doing it for years. I'm talking about like years on years. Longer than I've been doing it. Or they got a shout out from someone else who was big. And that's how they got their channel to where it's at. So 1K, although it would be nice because I could finally monetize my videos, it's not something that I'm like rushing towards. As long as we're still growing as a channel, and as long as you guys enjoy my content, I'm pretty happy with where we're at, because look, I gained 13 subscribers in the past 28 days, and that's pretty good for me. So as long as we're growing as a channel, as long as you guys enjoy my content, I'm happy. That's all that matters to me. Will you still do YouTube when going to college? That's tough. This is one of those questions where I don't really think I'm going to be able to give a direct answer to right now, because I'm currently going into my sophomore year, and college is at least 2 more years away. Well, counting this year, it's at least like 3 more years away for me. So I don't know if I'm still going to be doing it. Another thing is, I use the software on the PS4. I use Share Factory to make all of my videos. I produce it all, and I use the Capture Gallery with the PlayStation. So if the PlayStation 5 doesn't have that, don't think I'm going to be able to continue making videos, which kind of sucks. So I'm kind of hoping that they have that in the PlayStation 5. That way I can continue doing YouTube. Will you play survival games like Stranded Deep when they release in October? To be fair, I didn't even know Stranded Deep was coming to console in October. But I've considered doing other survival games. I'll probably end up doing Subnautica Below Zero, because I did do Subnautica, the original version of Subnautica, on my channel. I will probably end up doing Below Zero. So that is like a definite, probably, maybe. More than likely, though. Stranded Deep, though, I don't know. I've seen kind of a lot of what Stranded Deep has to offer, and it looks really, really bland to me. So I might look at it. I don't know if I'm going to live stream it like Subnautica, though. I might just do a video on it and see how it does, and if it's something that you guys like, I might continue to do a video. I might continue to do videos on it instead of live streams. But I'm not going to, like, yeah, I'm not going to, like, do anything, like, big on it. So that's that, I guess. Will you play Predator Hunting Grounds when it releases in 2020? I looked at this, and if you want my honest answer, it's a bit far away for me to tell, but probably not. You're probably wondering why. And it's just because when I looked at it, it doesn't really suit my playstyle. So, I'm not a big fan. So, probably not. Probably won't end up doing that. And this is like my final question. Will you do a GTA 5 story mode playthrough? I mean, it's never occurred to me before, but I can. If it's something you guys would want to see, then yes, I can do a story mode playthrough. I will live stream it. Maybe you want an added twist of like first person only or something. I can try. But only if it's something you guys want to see. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be worth my time to do. But you guys will definitely have to let me know if that's something that you want to see. But that's all my questions. That pretty much does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for all your questions. Really did enjoy making this video. You guys don't know how much I enjoyed making this video. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and you leave a like and you subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.